Not yet. I like that. But do you remember?
I don't remember. You don't
remember the first MTV?
I don't remember 1981. I remember.
Didn't Motorhead host the first?
Whoa!
Well,
I would love to know.
Did Motorhead host the what?
The first.
They hosted the first Headbangers Ball. Headbangers Ball. Train's wearing the shirt.
Headbangers Ball.
I think Headbangers Ball came out in 1986. MTV came out in 1981.
Yeah.
Does anybody know what the first video they played were?
Yeah,
God,
I know.
I was.
I know.
What was it?
Can I tell you, or did you want to? Oh, it was the Bugles. Video killed the radio star.
Yep.
Video killed the radio
The very
star.
first video played.
Oh my God!
I think MTV aired at midnight on August.
You know
1st.
what? That's all. It's actually perfect. You know.
Well, I'm sure that
made sense.
Well, that's why it was on there. It wasn't. I don't think it was a big radio hit at the time.
Yeah, I don't think it was by accident. I think that's why they put that video number, the first one ever.
That was whoever thought of that. That was genius. Video killed the radio.
That's what's he doing now? Isn't he like a music producer, or not a music producer, but a composer or something like that?
Who, the singer for that?
Yeah, from the Bugles. It wasn't the Bugles; it was the Buggles.
The Buggles. Yeah.
the Beagles. Y'all had me thinking it was the Beagles.
Not Beagles.
I never
was
said
like,
I never said Beagles either.
I heard Beagles.
He said the Bugles.
Beagles. You know, the dog. Beagles. Thank you. I'm here all night. So they just didn't focus on one genre either. It was rhythm and blues. It was, Michael Jackson. I mean, they went. It was everything.
Yeah.
And I guess as the years went by, somebody had the idea, said, okay, we need to start doing, 1 through 50, start categorizing the music.
That's the word I was trying to come up with. Category, whatever you just said. I'm going to have to rewind the show and looking at it again. So,
That's a new word.
Before we get too far in MTV, there was music videos before MTV. When you look at YouTube and you find stuff of like Iron Maiden, or not Iron Maiden, but Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, all these things like before.
Was that on the Religion channel?
Yeah, bands made videos for like promotional.
So it wasn't on a specific.
It was
television
a lot
program.
of them were, but they were over in the UK. There were shows like the one that I used to watch. I had to write it down so I wouldn't forget. Top of the Pops.
Top of the Pops.
Before that,
Never
there was
heard
a
of
show called Countdown to Sounds, which was in 1974, and then that was followed by Top of the Pops. And in the U.S., it was 1979 that a show called Video Concert Hall had the 1979. So they predated MTV. How about that?
Didn't know that.
That's something.
It ain't even in my.
But MTV stuff when they came out, they kind of modeled it after radio because they had they were called VJs, not DJs.
That's right.
VJs, which were video jockeys. What?
Yeah,
what
video
for,
jockeys. That's what they used. Yep.
Instead of like disc jockeys, it was. But that was what they were called. And you remember any of the first ones they had? I remember Martha Quinn.
Well, speaking of those,
Adam Curry.
Our cousin Red Gainey just jumped on here and said Martha Quinn was and still is a hottie. Or is still a hottie.
Martha Quinn. Wow.
She hasn't changed. She hasn't changed much at all. Ricky Rackman. Ricky Rackman was with
Ricky Rackman. Yeah, he hosted Headbangers Ball.
Yeah, but he was a VJ like on the side of that, or he was just Headbangers Ball.
Just Headbangers Ball. He was he owned a club with Tammy Down from Faster Pussycat, and that was how he actually got. He wanted a Headbangers Ball gig. I think when Headbangers Ball started, I think Headbangers Ball started in 1986. And they just had like guest hosts for the first couple years, and then they set it on Adam Curry. You remember him?
Yep.
He put the leather jacket on.
Yeah, he had the long blonde hair.
Yeah.
Was Matt Penfield on Headbangers Ball? Or was his a different show?
I think. Well, he might have been
wasn't
later on after the 90s, maybe. He might have been VH1.
Was Howard Stern a part of this? When he was the baller, he's like, he did that stupid laugh. You know what I'm talking about?
No, no.
You know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about? But do you know what I'm talking about? He dressed in like leather. He was like, or he did this weird thing, and I hated it. But that obviously
I don't think.
Wait, you're thinking about that video that we watched where he was doing? I think it was a Corey Feldman video.
I'm stupid. That is right. Yeah, that has nothing to do with this. My bad. That's correct. Because he was the fart man and everything.
Yeah, that was the MTV Awards.
Yeah, that's my bad. I'm talking about something. Anyway, go ahead. Carry on.
Red just came back up again and said that they had Adam Curry, and he was the original host. To make him look legit, they had him wear a leather jacket.
Dude, did he have long hair?
He said, "Dude was a tool shed."
Do you know Adam Curry started the very first podcast?
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
The very first podcast Adam Curry started, and I think he still has it today, I think.
I got to look that up. Did you look that up today?
Not today. I saw an interview with him talking to somebody, and he was it was before it was called a podcast.
Podcast.
Yeah, well, no, it was before.
Why is it?
It was before the name.
We're not making a right turn.
It was before podcast came into our, dictionary or lexicon use.
Lexicon use.
So was it?
Listen to you.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was before.
I don't even know what it means, but it sounded good.
Was before podcast was a word.
Well,
he had the first one.
So how was it formatted? Do you know? Like, was it how was it put out to people? How did people listen to it?
It was through the internet, but it was and this was at the early stages of internet. I think it was in the early 90s. I think when he started doing it, he wanted to do a show, and he would go on and talk, and it was broadcast on the internet. And he didn't. Like I said, it wasn't called a podcast because that
he didn't have
been invented.
Didn't have the iPod out yet.
Yeah, but so he was actually the first one who did something in that vein like that. But it was I saw an interview with it. It was actually it was cool. I mean, it was like, man, I had no idea.
Huh.
Yeah, that's Adam Curry.
So, in the earlier days of MTV, did it have the title of the song like it usually in the corner?
It had the name of the band,
Interscope Records or whatever.
Name of the band, the name of the song. It had like the record label, and then I think up under it had like the director of the video or something.
Okay, so it started out like that.
Yeah, the video would come on, and it would have it all down there in the bottom left corner.
Okay, because I wouldn't lie back then. Y'all was,
That's right.
I can proudly say
you were just a strapping young baby.
I was a strapping young little swimmer just trying to make my way.
Oh, you were just a swimmer at the time?
Yeah. Careful. Yeah, that's right. But we're writing about 1985 right about now. So they started doing pop-up video documentary series
Pop-up video.
back in about 1985. You remember that? Of course, right? They would have little pop-ups of little interesting facts about the music or, the video itself. And
was that MTV?
Yeah.
The pop-up video thing?
I just did a pop-up video now. It says subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Good job, Trey. Yes, please do. Let's see. Let me get this right. Wasn't VH1 had been broadcasting. Oh, okay, that was VH1.
I thought pop-up video
that was
VH1.
1985 VH1. Okay, let me get my facts
VH1
right.
come back and piggy-tailed off of
Yeah,
MTV,
so they was like, okay, we could do something better, which I actually loved it. I was like, ooh, I didn't know that. That didn't. Even video, artists I didn't like. I'm like, let's find out something about him.
Yeah, within
or her,
I think it was around 85 or 86 is when MTV started doing the categories where you had Headbangers Ball, you had Yo MTV Raps.
Yep.
You started having different genres, come out with MTV started, playing had a show dedicated just to a certain type of music. But speaking of Trey Shirt, Headbangers Ball, it started in 1986, and
Respect.
Like Red was saying, it was Adam Curry was the first host, but the very first Headbangers Ball came out in 1986, and the host wasn't Adam Curry. It was Motorhead. It was Lemmy.
Really?
Lemmy from Motorhead.
That's
and
insane. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the drummer Phil, what they call it, Animal.
Phil.
Yeah. And do you know what the very first video Headbangers Ball played was?
I don't.
Cinderella, Somebody Save Me, was the first song ever played on Headbangers Ball.
Huh.
This is real
That's not even
knowledge.
that-
I love this.
It's
I
not even
love
that
this.
heavy.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Also,
you know,
Headbangers Ball.
The second song was Dockin'. I think it was what was it? It was the one from the Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I think Dream Warriors.
I'm not familiar
And
with Dockin'.
Dockin' is not a real heavy band either. They got some cool songs. They're 80s band, but yeah. And then the third song I think was by Motorhead. So there they're getting into the heavy part.
All right. Well, what was the next song they played?
I'm waiting.
I don't know.
He's,
Give us a list.
I
Tell
mean,
me, now, what day of the week was this?
The first three, just because the only reason I know that is because I listened to a podcast by Ricky Rackman, and he was talking about the origins
like
of
he
head-
would know.
Well, he was, and actually, it's interesting with Ricky Rackman because I thought he was the host way before he actually was. I think it was like 1990 before he actually got the gig.
Yeah.
And he, one of his friends is Axl Rose, and he was talking to Axl, talking about he'd like to get that gig to host Headbangers Ball. And Axl said he'd put some, he said, I'll put a word in for you, with MTV. Because at that time, Guns N' Roses was like one of the biggest things ever, So, but he said it was still like a year before he actually got a call in. And I mean, that's where I got the first videos and all that's played. It was just interesting to listen to Ricky Rackman go back through that little time period, and hear him talk about it. It was just like, I mean, it's so weird from, we grew up watching that and all. And now to hear him talk about it and everything, it was just, it was cool. Little, if anybody wants to check out Ricky Rackman's Cat House podcast, it's pretty cool. He's only got like a couple episodes, but one of them is him talking about Headbangers Ball, and it's actually very interesting to hear everything that went on and all the politics behind the scenes.
That's exciting.
That's pretty good, Scott.
It is
really good information. I had no idea about
That was a really good
this.
story you just told too.
I felt like I was there.
Can you tell us again?
That's good. Okay, I can. Well, okay. Well,
Oh, we're just kidding. Because Scott will do that. He has a tendency, if he gets interrupted, he'll rewind back and circle back around.
I want to make sure everybody knows.
Well,
So,
I'm telling you,
if I
you
get
just
interrupted-
dropped some knowledge.
If I get interrupted,
I bet people at home like, are you kidding me? Did you hear that?
people at home were like, "Are you kidding me? Can you shut him up?"
So do you
Heard
know
enough.
what year
Yes.
was the MTV Music Awards? What was the first year?
I'm not
Why are
sure.
we talking about awards? What does that have to
It's
do?
it's a part of the MTV.
Part of the MTV.
Yeah.
You go, okay, all right, go ahead. Oh, the Moon Man, yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, let's see. Michael Jackson got one, so had to be
It
in
was-
84, 83.
It was the greatest year because the Perfect Soul came into the world myself. 1984 was the first MTV Moon Man Awards.
Okay.
You know,
All right.